See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
You're hot.
Welcome to Fifth Street Sports. Las Vegas Cris is in the hot seat today, and this is my first shot at this. I'm here with Frank Perez and Oklahoma Brian, and I just hope I do better than Cindy Brady did on that episode of the Brady Bunch when she went on that quiz show. So as long as I don't freeze, I'll be okay. We have a really busy show today. We're going to summarize the weekend, what happened Saturday and Sunday. We're going to talk about some interesting tidbits that have been circulating as far as stats and trends that actually mean something. We're going to actually talk about square moves and pro moves on what we did right and what we did wrong. So it was a weekend where I made a few mistakes, and I think Brian did. Frank was claiming earlier he was perfect, so we'll all envy to be that good. But we're going to talk about some rookie moves we made. We're going to talk about the Hurricane Florence, is it? I think it's Hurricane Florence. And then we're going to go into Sunday Night Football, or Monday Night Football. Sorry about that. My Cindy Brady moment. Anyway, a couple of tidbits I picked up. The Superbook would have had the biggest weekend or biggest Saturday they ever had if Texas A&M had actually pulled that game out against Clemson. I thought that was pretty interesting. And Jimmy Vaccaro down at South Point mentioned that he had never seen opening day as busy as it was this weekend. So a couple of interesting points there. The latest viewership numbers for Sunday Night Football, if you went to bed early, you missed a great game. But the ratings were still down another 7%. So trending down there, but as we can see, the betting is trending upward at the books. Super Contest update. Interesting statistic. 19 people actually put in $1,500 and didn't bother to put their picks in. That's brutal. Another 18 people actually put their picks in, and they're in the same shape as the other 19 people that didn't bother. They're unfortunately out of gas. We know that feeling, Frank. We did that one year.
Oh, that's the 0-5
Not in a super
feeling.
contest, though. But
yeah, that's the 0-5 feeling, yeah.
Yeah, we did that in a small contest one year. Some people are actually looking pretty good. 58 people are 4-0. We're going to go for a break for a couple of minutes, and we'll be back in just a few.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774. It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
It's time for the Yellow Tag sales event at your local BRP dealer, where you can save big on new Can-Am off-road vehicles. Can-Am vehicles were made to perform and make the most out of any challenge. And right now, quality costs less, because you can save up to $2,000 on select Can-Am vehicles. Just stop by your local BRP dealer right now before the Yellow Tag sales event is gone. Offer ends September 30th, 2018. Certain conditions may apply. See dealer for details.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director you're looking for.
I'm the sales director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Welcome back to 5th Street Sports. I'm Las Vegas Cris. I'm joined with Frank Perez, my partner in crime. We also have Oklahoma Brian. Let's wrap up the weekend. We're going to go all the way to Oklahoma and let Brian join us. And he's going to update us on America's Worst Gambler. Was Fading America's Worst Gambler a good program for us this week?
As usual, it was good. America's Worst Gambler came in on 2 plays. He played Oklahoma, laying like 29.5 or 30 points. Almost got there, but not quite. Landed 28, so he lost that. And then his other play was a pretty square play, I thought, on the New Orleans Saints, laying 9.5 on opening day. And, of course, they lost outright, in addition to giving up a gazillion points. So his record is perfect, 2-0 on the year. Unfortunately, I was almost as bad as the America's Worst Better.
Well, let's also point out that he got the worst of the line also. If he had bet that game early, he actually would have had a winner in his pocket. But as every worst bettor realizes, if they get the worst of it, they're not going to get a win in the bank.
That's right. Market entry is everything. And he laid a clunky number, and he paid for it.
Okay, moving on. Rockford. Frank, what do you have for Rockford's performance?
Rockford actually went 1-2. He won his WNBA game, Seattle -4.5, won that handily. And then he lost both of, there he is. There's Rockford. And he actually lost his 2 football games, Central Michigan and what was his other play that he had on there? He had Central Michigan and we got the stats. But anyways, Rockford went 1-2 last week, so he'll be back. No problem.
Okay, now here's the big news. Friday, we spent some time with the contest. You guys both had a great start week 1. Brian, how'd you do week 2?
Well, it could have been worse. I could have gone 0-5.
Well, you did the same as the Browns, though, right?
Yeah, you're the Cleveland Browns of the team.
I got a tie, so I went 0-4-1, which was a little bit disappointing.
Yikes!
Do you have a bad beat you can complain about, or you just weren't sniffing anywhere?
It was some bad sniffing, Chris.
Okay,
some really bad sniffing.
So that puts your overall record at what? 5-5, 4-5-1, right?
4-5-1 is correct. Yeah.
Okay, Frank.
Me, I ended up going 2-3. Not great, but I do. So now I'm currently at 5-5. So, to Billy Donnellan, your horse over here that you laid 220, our president would have a nice word for his week, and that would be, it was a disaster. So, whole 4-1. Billy, I don't know about your 220, but we got a nice little contest going.
Well, I'd like to put that behind us and discuss a little bit about some unusual things that happened. Brian was mentioning earlier he likes to focus on what the bad teams do. So I noticed that the Browns actually had a highlight up that they're on their best start since 2004. They're 0-1 after week 1. So in a week that we actually had our first overtime game since tie in NFL history, the Browns are part of that, and they can't get off the schneid there. The Saints are 0-5 on home openers. I guess they're not a bad team, but they're a bad first week team. And another stat gets by me at the moment.
Did you see the passer rating for Nathan Peterman this weekend?
I saw that I saw Ed Fang had tweeted out that the combined passing for them was 1.8 yards per pass attempt.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get another shot at Nathan Peterman next week. Although they might actually be worse with Josh Allen. Sometimes it's harder to pick out the elite teams than it is the bad teams. This year, I don't know if I could pinpoint a worse team than Buffalo. This seems like a team that's not only going to contend for 0-16. I'm not sure if they're going to even have the almost wins that Cleveland. Cleveland ran off a huge string of losers, but along the way they almost won a lot of games. I'm not sure if I look at Buffalo's schedule, I can even identify games they might win.
Frank, any thoughts on that?
Well, believe it or not, Brian, I'm kind of the same as you. And, off the record, you did love the Ravens. I asked you several times, and you said that was one of your top picks. We were trying to figure out some good teaser ones, and you loved the Ravens. But you know what's scary is, as awful as they looked, this is still the NFL. I'm going to give them 2 or 3 more weeks to see if they can make any adjustments to get competitive.
I was flabbergasted at how bad Tyrod Taylor looked. That was a complete embarrassment. I think you pretty much, if he does a repeat of that, you have to go to the bench on that. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I kind of didn't really think he was going to get the start in week 1, but I feel like, maybe give him 1 more week and then go with youth.
I think that team has a lot of potential, though. You could see they had a lot of fight in them, but clearly Pittsburgh didn't come as clearly focused as they needed to be, sadly. So we'll see what happens with the Bell situation there.
What? I was going to ask you, Brian, on your Ravens. What was the game that you teased them with? Because I took your advice on the Ravens and used them in teasers with everybody.
Well, so I used the Redskins, and the Cowboys was a little bit non-conventional. It got there at the end thanks to a 2-point conversion, actually.
Right.
So I teased that one up to 9. That's kind of on the gray area. I've got the Jets and some teasers tonight. That's right on the edge of what we would consider a Wong teaser. And the Packers one was really interesting. A lot of sharps used the Packers and Wongs, and depending on what number they got, they either won or lost their teaser, depending on what their entry point was. Because if you teased the Packers last night, you were either laying a half, a point, or a point and a half. And of course, they win by 1. So timing is everything. That was a really interesting play.
One thing I noticed on Saturday that I thought was amazing is Wisconsin gave up a first possession touchdown for the first time since 2014. How strong is that? Every other team has given up at least 2 in that time period, but Wisconsin folded like a paper napkin on that first drive against New Mexico. I thought that was a pretty remarkable run for them. Did either of you notice anything that really stood out that was odd Saturday?
I don't know if it's odd, but like I said, I love to focus on bad teams, and my bad team in the NCAA this year, my go-to team is New Mexico State, and they didn't let me down. I'll be focused on fading New Mexico State for several weeks. They actually have the rival with New Mexico that you were just talking about this week, and the line's a little bit lighter than I thought it was gonna. I made the line 8.5. It opened 5.5. I'm not sure if I'm missing something with injuries, but at first glance, that looks like a game I'll be betting this week.
One thing I noticed this weekend was, and I had the wrong side of this, was the UTEP and the UNLV. You know, for you, I was amazed that UNLV could cover a 24.5 point spread, but there you have it.
That was the record high temperature game, right?
Yeah, it sure was.
And we know historically that hot games like that tend to be overs. Of course, the game in Tempe was almost as hot and unbelievably under paced. So.
Yeah. Now, remember, I gave out a note on that I said it was going to be 100 degrees at game time, and boy, did they run out of gas in that. You know.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be going to a break. After the break, we're going to be talking about the hurricane and what that's going to mean to some coming games. We're going to be talking about some mistakes that we made on our personal betting and some good things that we did. And then we're going to get to the Monday night football game. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
And here's today's BRP safety tips. Riding outdoor recreational vehicles can be fun. These safety tips can help make your outdoor experience safe and enjoyable. Enroll in a motorcycle, ATV, snowmobile, or water safety course. Depending on the vehicle, always wear protective gear. Helmets, life jackets, goggles, long-sleeve shirts and pants, and gloves will help keep you incident-free. Always stick to the correct and legal number of people on your outdoor machine. And now a word from BRP.
It's time for the Yellow Tag sales event at your local BRP dealer, where you can save big on new Can-Am off-road vehicles. Can-Am vehicles were made to perform and make the most out of any challenge. And right now, quality costs less, because you can save up to $2,000 on select Can-Am vehicles. Just stop by your local BRP dealer right now before the Yellow Tag sales event is gone. Offer ends September 30th, 2018. Certain conditions may apply. See dealer for details.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Las Vegas Cris. I'm joined with Frank of Oklahoma, Brian. A little bit of breaking news that just came in within the last hour. 2 Nevada wagering funds have been charged with violations by the feds. Wow. So what they are basically doing is that they're a betting group that is placing bets for investors, and the SEC is claiming that there's some hokey-pokey stuff going on there. I do have somewhat of a statement from one of the principals basically saying that they haven't been really fined or charged with anything. It's really more of a procedure type thing, and this sounds bigger than it is. So maybe it's something to be concerned with, maybe it's not, but a little bit of breaking news there. I just noticed the betting line on the Brian and Frank contest has gone from minus 220 to plus 110 from our listener, Billy Donovan. You think that's an overcorrection, Frank?
I do. I do, because, for Brian, for Billy, to go to plus 110 is kind of a ridiculous overreaction. But Brian did get caught, with his hand in the cookie jar. He stole 2 plays. He stole the Waz play on Indy, and he stole the other play from Rockford. But, once in a while, when you're a kid, you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar.
Well, in my defense, all stolen plays. Rarely do I handicap my own stuff. I'm a plagiarist.
Well, we appreciate that brutal honesty.
We appreciate the honesty of that.
So speaking of that, let's segue into. We're all supposed to know what we're doing here, but nevertheless, it seems. Other than Frank, we make mistakes, and then we do things that we're really proud of every week. So I know I have some things I'm pissed off I did. Brian, what did you do wrong this week that you would consider just, I'm a square today, I shouldn't have done that, I should have done this?
Yeah, that's a great question. No matter how sharp we get, we all continue to make stupid mistakes in this business. And I was really eager to bet UCLA, and of course I live in Oklahoma, so betting locally I can get a little extra half point to a point or two. So I was shopping around all of my locals trying to see if I could find 31.5, maybe 32 at post time, and I got distracted and the game kicked off without having a bet on the game, and that frustrated me because it was one of my favorite games all week, and I ended up with nothing on it.
What do you think was the best thing that you did this week that you could actually share?
Outside of my pushing the Broncos game, of my 5 selections, that was the highlight. But in terms of last week with my personal betting, I would say the Utah State game. That was a big game for me, and it kind of tested my courage somewhat because the line movement was squarely against me on that. But I was certain that I really wanted to be against this New Mexico State team, another week, and I stuck to my guns and actually found a couple places that let me parlay the side into the total. So that was a nice score. That helped a little bit.
That reminds me, at some point on a future show, we're going to talk about the feeling when you're on the wrong side of a game. You basically don't really know how you feel on a game until you've actually placed the bet. And you and I spoke about that this morning, that there could be a nice topic on that issue, so that we'll bounce back to that at a future time. Frank, you told me you did everything perfectly this week.
I know you're getting overexcited because you know that I'm not a chirper or a bragger or nothing. But, I would have to say, I went through what you thought about with square moves. And I kept thinking to myself, no, I'm not like, some weeks when you and I talk and we make real bozo plays or something that we go, and we realize, we were like really a bad square play. I can't think of any of those. I would have to say like the squarest part of my week was not to have enough faith in America's Worst Bettor, and I mean, we won because he went his 0-2 like usual. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't have more on those games because we know how powerful this guy is as picking wrong selections. So that would be my squarest part of the week. Now you want the best part of the week?
What's the best part of the week? What can you talk about?
The best part of the week is not sitting there with the ski mask and robbing our players' plays like somebody I know did.
Oh.
So I would have to say that.
Not going to get off of that topic. Speaking personally, I'm infuriated with myself because I was on here, talking about contests, what not to do, what to do. And, geez, all these years I made the same mistake. I followed a couple of I don't originate my stuff for a couple of weeks until a couple weeks into the season. And I did have options to not play certain things. And in the Golden Nugget contest, I went 2-5. And I think 2 of those plays were line moves. A couple of them were line games that everybody else was on. And I'm just disgusted with myself. The last man standing, I'm wiped out. So Frank and I split that contest every year, and I lost all my entries. And I even told him, I go, I can't use this game with that Memphis game that we all like that went up to 7. It's -4.5 in the contest. And I told Frank I shouldn't use that because it's going to knock out a big chunk of the field. And what do? I throw it in there like a chump. So I'm in the penalty box for that. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, but in your defense, like you won the contest. You won that last man standing college last year, Chris.
No, that was 2 years ago.
Oh, was that 2 years ago? That money went fast.
Yep. But I guess the one good thing I did though, I'm running out at the casinos every day, and sometimes you're fighting for lines, and sometimes you're there before they open. And for me, I'm there before they open every day, and I was second in line. I couldn't believe it. Nobody gets there before me. So I called an audible, and I got in my car and went to another casino that had the same lines, and I got all the games that I wanted. So
that was a brilliant play. Good
that
call.
audible worked out really well.
Good call.
So I want to remind people, you can find us on 5th Street Sports on Twitter. If you have any suggestions or any comments, we're going to try to become more active on Twitter. So we want to involve people, and whatever you're thinking, we want to be able to try to help you out also. We have a website, 5thstreetsports.com, but it's in construction, and I'm told that it could be live just within the next couple of days. So take a note of that. It's going to be completely revamped. We're looking forward to that. And that's a couple things to add. We're also on Facebook. What is that? Facebook/5th Street Sports Talk. We stream live there every day. And we stream on YouTube. So you can find us everywhere there. Yeah. So sorry about that Cindy Brady time filler. Because
No, but Chris, I'm okay now. So in the last man standing, college we lost because we're partners. We lost our 10 tickets in the college, but then you kept all 10 tickets in the pros. That was pretty strong. Now, in our partnership, I kept 8 in the college. I had them all on Rice, except 2 I had on the Central Michigan. Then in the pros, I have 1 live one. If the Raiders win, we'll have 4 more. So we'll keep 15 out of 20 in the pros, 8 out of 10 in the college. Golden Nugget, I went 3 and 4. I was like you, but I start using your games because typically every year, you start originating. Do you start originating in week 3 or 4?
After 3 games.
After 3 games.
Yep.
That's when that's when Chris gets the strongest, because that's when, we're partners. That's when we really start getting his own stuff and incorporate it with all the other, plays that we're able to plagiarize and get from Brian and stuff like that. So I look forward to week 4, believe me.
I think everybody knows by now what Aaron Rodgers accomplished last night, bringing them back. One performance in particular actually stood out like a sore thumb, even though Mac started off so well. Tyrek Hill for Kansas City. Did you guys see this guy? They had him clocked at 26 miles an hour on one of those runs. It doesn't get any faster than that. And on top of it, he's the first guy to return a punt return in a game for a touchdown and get over 150 yards receiving, or third guy to do that. Brian, anybody else, any other NFL performances stand out to you this weekend?
Besides Nathan Peterman?
Yeah.
Wow. Let's see. If something does happen to Aaron Rodgers this year, from the limited amount that we saw from Kaiser, that looks like it's going to be a pretty bad team if he does go down this year. And seemed to be pretty confident though that he would play next week, huh?
Yeah, but that's true. But that Tariq Hill, we bet him at most receiving yards. We got that from Ron. Remember Ron, our guest?
Yeah.
He mentioned it. He mentioned it at 26-1. I ended up putting 125 on it at 33-1. So I'm rooting for the guy to keep on trucking, baby.
Didn't you bet Pat Mahomes also?
I did. It was that was the combo he gave me. I listened to Ron. I mean, his stuff is really good. Chris brought him on the show. But, I also dipped a little bit with Andrew Luck and the other guy that he hooks up with. I forgot his name, but I got them both at good prices. That was from Ron.
Yeah. I think those are all good bets because from what we can tell from week one, the Colts are going to be chasing people from behind most of this year. That's not going to be a really good team. So
well,
let's have a lot of passion.
Let's pick it up after we pay some bills. We'll be back in just a few minutes with some Monday Night Football discussion. It's going to be a busy night, that's for sure.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit, and 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help.
800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the sports talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
Welcome back to 5th Street Sports. Las Vegas Cris here with Oklahoma Brian on the phone and Frank Perez to my right. One notable MGM bettor went in and put $100,000 on the Browns with the Dallas Carolina under. So that was a nice hit for him.
What number he went under?
Does it matter?
Yeah, on the Browns. Remember,
it does in the Browns. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
he had the Browns straight up.
Oh, the Browns
with the Dallas Carolina under. So that was a nice hit for him.
I see.
But on the Browns, did he get a push or did he take the 3.5?
Does it matter?
But, no, because you said the Browns straight up. The Browns tied.
Plus the points. I'm sorry.
Oh, plus the that was a nice hit. That was a nice hit.
Yeah.
And the same bettor, I believe, also has a 6-digit bet on Baltimore, which barely covered over Peterson and your Bills, Brian, and the Green Bay under, which I find kind of elusive to whether the guy would have won or not, because that was one of those totals that fell nicely on the total for us. But it just goes to show you've got to get the best of the number. That landed on 47. He could have very well won that, or maybe not.
Well, we had what did we have? We had over 46.5, under 48.5. So we got we shopped when you were out there. We got the under 48.5, but I never seen it go under 46.5. But we were lucky to get that 47, brother.
Brian first introduced us to this concept about 6, 7, 8 years ago. We were completely oblivious to this, and that is paying attention to these weather games. I know we touched on that a few episodes ago a little bit. We have Hurricane Florence heading to the East Coast. Our weatherman, Brian, who is also our sports bettor, he's a weatherman in his part-time, has brought that to his attention that there's some things to look out for. What are you seeing so far, Brian?
Well, this is going to be a fun one. This thing went from a tropical storm to a Category 4 hurricane in 24 hours. It's developing rapidly. Its current path has it headed for the Carolina coast around Thursday. This is going to be a fun storm because after it hits, it's projected just to kind of stall over the mid-Atlantic and create a ton of rain. It's going to affect a lot of totals this week. College totals aren't out. I'll get back to college in a second, but if you look at the NFL, the Steelers totals 51.5. That game could be certainly could be impacted by this. And of course, that's a grass field that doesn't typically handle rain as well as a lot of other stadiums. Buffalo could see some rain. Looking at college, there's a Thursday night game with Wake Forest and Boston College. If there's one sure bet on the board, it's that game will not be played. Of course, those are conference rivals, so they're going to probably have to make up that game, and I'm not sure how they're going to do that. That might end up being a Saturday game or a Sunday game, but from what I can tell, that's a game that will have to be played. Typically with these hurricane games, we're not looking for the games that get hit right on the jaw with the eye of the hurricane, because as we know, those games don't even get played. We're looking for games that are kind of on the perimeter of the storm, that are still going to get 20-mile-an-hour winds, still going to have a lot of rain, and we'll have a better idea as to which games those are as the week moves on. But, as we record this, it's Monday afternoon. I would say, anything in the Appalachia, Southern Appalachia to Mid-Atlantic, even the lower Great Lakes could be impacted by Florence on Saturday.
Do you know what days it's supposed to impact? Do you know yet?
So it's going to hit Thursday night, right in southern North Carolina is the current trajectory. The computer models are relatively in agreement as to where it goes. Sometimes, you look at these models and it looks like spaghetti, spilled all over the page. They're going different directions, but these models seem to be in agreement with this. It should hit. Of course, it's kind of a multi-dimensional puzzle. We're trying to project where it's going to hit, but also when it's going to hit. So if this thing slows down or speeds up, everything is thrown off. But my best guess now is it hits Thursday night, and it will creep slowly up the eastern seaboard, kind of towards Lake Erie, it looks like, on Sunday morning.
You're a little disappointed because you prefer to get these hurricanes in without as much notice before people have a chance to figure this out ahead of time. In the past, right. I know you've completely surprised us and said, "Hey, look out for this weather," and literally nobody's looking at it. But unfortunately, aren't we going to see a situation where we're not going to see totals posted and games off the board until they really know that these games are going to be played?
Well, on the college side, yes. But on the NFL side, the NFL totals are already up there. The Buffalo total just moved lower in the last hour. Someone bet under on the Buffalo game. Pittsburgh hasn't moved yet. I kind of snuck around and bet some Steelers under, although it does sound like kind of like an over game potentially on the surface. But that's a game that looks like could have a tremendous amount of wind and rain as a result of this storm on Sunday.
You know what I was going to say, just as a little disclaimer to the folks, like we are praying for all the folks that are going to be impacted by these hurricanes, because the way the way we're sounding a little bit like, we're sitting here like those night stalkers that are just driving around the freeways looking for bad accidents. We do pray for the folks and hope everything's okay. But, yes. We have to, we are sports bettors, and we have to, obviously, unfortunately, we have to hope everybody's okay, but we do grab around and pick up the spoils for betting purposes.
Well, let's go. Let's move on to the Monday Night Football. I need to correct one thing I said. I guess the parlay I was speaking of was actually the Ravens with the Rams -4, and that's at William Hill for $100,000. The previous Golden Green Bay under was just a straight bet. Somehow, I don't know how he could possibly get these numbers in, but
the Rams were 4, but I do got to tell you, Brian and I we're not using it in the contest. We are terribly opposed in this Monday night game, especially when it goes to 7. I know he's in front of the screen looking at it, and I told him, if this Ram game goes to 7, just put an extra few thousand for me on these Raiders. I don't think this guy's going to cash his ticket, to tell you the truth, but I really like these Raiders tonight. Plus 6 or 7, and Brian likes the other side. So we're going to have a little bit of we're going to see what happens tomorrow. One of us is going to be eating French toast, and the other one's going to be eating steak and lobster.
Unfortunately for me, it looks like I'm on the public side. The public looks like they're all over the Rams, as they have been on futures and season win totals. The public's been all over the Rams all summer long, and looks like it continues tonight. Public also likes the Raiders, generally speaking, and has been caught up in this John Gruden storyline. That's kind of where I'm coming from. I'm not a believer. As much as I love John Gruden, I don't believe that this is going to end very well for him, and basically going to be against the Raiders.
You have a psychology degree to go along with your meteorology degree, right? How do you think the spirit of the Raiders is after this Khalil Mack performance last night and the cash dump that the Raiders apparently are doing?
Wow, he looked good, didn't he, last night?
He sure did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't have a psychology degree or nothing, but I do have. I am aware of one thing right now is betting a road favorite in Monday Night Football is a horrendous play. Okay, now it's up to 7, and I'm going to, or 6, or it says 6, I'm not going to say 7 yet, but I'm also going to use my psychological thing and know that I'm aware that Brian's on a cooler right now, and he does like the Rams, and they're a road favorite, and I'm going to take a Monday night home dog and oppose Brian, because I know that right now, you know, you got to recognize when somebody's on a cold streak or a hot streak. So I'm going to take the Raiders tonight.
That sounds solid.
I'm going to go.
I'm just sitting it out. I think the Rams look pretty easy to me, but I smell a rat.
I love that. I love when you guys say the road favorite sounds easy in the NFL.
No, I love it. I'm completely off the game though.
Are we allowed to pass on games on the show?
I'm passing. I'm not. My opinion is the Rams -4 was good. I wouldn't lay the 6.5.
Oh, I love it. I mean. Love these road favorite bettors on Monday night. You know, you guys will be giving blood twice a week. You keep laying points on the road in the NFL.
What about the total? What is the total now, Brian?
Well, that was a big bet over the weekend. A lot of sharp groups were betting under on it. What did it go to? Is it? I want to say it's around 46.
Usually you're the stat guy, Chris, but you're in the wrong chair today. Go ahead, Brian. What do you got, buddy? What do you got, brother?
All right, here. Let's see. So tonight, this does not make for great radio. 47.5. So, yeah, 47.5 on the radio.
I got nothing on that, brother. I'm just taking the points at home.
I'm on the over. I'll lean the over. My opinion is the over.
How about this? But have we forgotten that there's a second game? You know the Jets are on the road at Detroit. Anything on that?
Well, I'll jump in on that.
Yeah, what do you got on that?
I mean, historically speaking, when I have a chance to fade a rookie quarterback making his first start in the NFL, that used to be kind of a knee-jerk reaction. I would always fade a guy making his first start, but the trend has really not as profitable as it used to be. Nowadays, I see guys coming out making their first start as a rookie and winning on a regular basis. So if Chris is going to pass on the first game, I'm going to pass on this game, but I would lean Lions.
Wow. Well, I'm going to sack up in this game, and I'm going to take the Jets +7. You know what I mean? You guys are doing all this Pasadena work this week. I'm going to take both dogs, especially with the 7 on the Jets.
Yeah, when in doubt, take both dogs.
Yeah,
in this kind of situation with that many points. But I'm from Detroit area originally, so I follow a lot of the Detroit media. And in all the years, in the last 10 years, I cannot recall a time period where there's just so little enthusiasm from the Detroit media for the Lions. It's just very surprising. I actually was angry with Frank. I'm like, how could we have missed that 7? I wanted that 7. And then I get the write-ups from Ron, and I'm reading the NFL write-ups, and I'm reading what happened with the Jets and what they've done, and that's a big nothing burger. I mean,
I agree.
I can't believe that team's got a long way to go to climb back, and I'm not sure they've got, with prime time inside Ford Field, I think the Lions actually have enough to show up, and I think the Jets are going to be in a tough spot here.
But still, I mean, it's Monday night, and historically, how would you like to have had the last 20 years of your life and lay 7 points with the Lions? First of all, you don't know what you're going to get, and it's the first week of the season. I got to take. I mean, they got to beat you by more than a touchdown, so I'm not going to be as strong as that one, but I am going to dabble with both dogs.
Well, it's not a playoff game, so Stafford does have a chance of winning it, I would say. That's half the battle is just don't be in the playoffs.
So do I. I know we're getting close out of time, but I wanted to make one quick comment to Mr. Billy Donnellan. Right now, Brian, the adjusted line is he made me you +110. I mean, even though he's seeing the cream start rising, I think he overreacted. He overreacted and took you from 220 to +110. So, Billy, let's not get carried away.
All right, let's go to break, and we'll be back to wrap things up in just a couple.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down, 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063.
Welcome to
957-6063.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. I'm here with Frank Perez and Oklahoma Brian. This was my introduction to the hot seat hosting the show, and I did just barely a little bit better than Cindy Brady did in that episode on the quiz show. Getting back to the Monday Night Football game, I just saw Aaron Kessler from the Golden Nugget tweet out something nice. He says this Rams line 6 at 6 is just a bananas line. That's basically saying that the Rams would be minus 13 on the if the game was held in L.A. or in the other L.A. I
love it.
That's a good point.
I love it. I love it.
Tomorrow, I'm going to be back in the hot seat again. I'm going to have a guest online. We're going to bring in Brian Leonard from Brian Leonard Sports. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm looking forward to talking some baseball with him tomorrow and some Mac. He's a Mac specialist and football in general. So
tomorrow's going to be the Big Mac day. You got Brian. Brian's a Mac. Our Mac specialist. You got two Mac guys. That's a big.
It's going to be the Big Mac day.
The Big Mac day. I love it. I love it.
So,
and Brian, did you mention Brian's hot streak in baseball? He's had a phenomenal year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's up like 130% or something this season, and that's like video game numbers. So he's had a really good year.
Good time to bring him on the show too. Because we're forgetting that the MLB's getting close to the playoffs. Having Brian on the show might be a little booster.
You guys going to watch the games tonight? Which ones are you looking forward to the most?
I'm going to watch both of them. How about you, Brian?
Yeah, I'll watch them both. I'd say that the second one is definitely the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
Well, that's past my bedtime, so.
Me too. I hope we do good, Brian, and I'm glad you're not betting them because I'm going to be rooting for the other side, and I don't want to ever see you lose. So.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for bearing with me for this episode. It was nice chatting with you guys. We'll be back tomorrow with Brian Leonard. You can find us on 5th Street Sports.com and 5th Street Sports on Twitter. And we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good evening.
USA Radio News.
Today, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders held a daily press briefing. Huckabee Sanders was asked about a possible meeting between President Trump and North Korea's Kim Jong-un.
The primary purpose of the letter was to request and look to schedule another meeting with the president, which we are open to and are already in the process of coordinating that. The recent parade in North Korea, for once, was not about their nuclear arsenal. The president has achieved tremendous success with his policies so far.